Hi, my name is Sandy Tinsley. I was a fourth grade teacher at W.B. Simpson Elementary School in the Caesaroni School District in Camden, Wyoming, Delaware. My instructional design plan is a lesson in math, multi-digit multiplication. In my fourth grade classroom, I teach all subjects: reading, writing, math, social studies, and science. There are 24 mixed ability learners with a total of 128 fourth grade students in the school. There are 6 teachers. 2 are SAM teachers, meaning they teach special education students as well as regular education students. There are 2 regular education teachers, and there are 2 Chinese immersion teachers, meaning one teaches the Chinese part and the other teaches the English part. The instructional goal that I came up with was 75% of the fourth grade students will be able to multiply 2-digit by 1-digit, 2-digit by 2-digit, and 3-digit by 1-digit, and apply this knowledge to real-world word problems on summative assessment with 85% accuracy. The must-haves before they come into fourth grade that we like them to have, that they usually learn in third grade, is they are able to solve multiplication problems using manipulatives, pictures, tick marks, or arrays as support. The students must know place value of digits up to 100. The students must be able to follow patterns of multiplication, such as skip counting or the multiples of 2, 5, and 10, and understand that there are patterns in multiplication. Students must be able to use basic strategies to solve word problems. The instructional goal has some needs. We realized that fourth grade students are not proficient in multiplying numbers other than their basic facts. So with the goal of multiplying multi-digit numbers and solving real-world math word problems, the students need to be proficient in using place value with addition so they can use place value with multiplication. They need to be proficient in their basic facts of multiplication to 12. They need to be able to break down 24 times 6 to 20 plus 4 times 6. And use their powers of 10 to understand it's 20 times 6 plus 4 times 6. Here is the goal analysis diagram. It's very small. I'll explain it to you better because I know it's small. But the prerequisite skills are in orange, and those are the ones that we talked about as the must-haves that they've learned in previous grades. And then the skills are in blue, and then the expectations I have in green. The first expectation I have, our students will be able to have automaticity with their basic facts 0 through 12. And then there are ways and strategies that we use to get to that. The next expectation is that the students will be able to utilize and apply place value in order to decompose numbers and use the expanded notation method to multiply multi-digit numbers. Again, there are skills in blue below that show how we get there. The third one is students will be able to utilize and apply the powers of 10 with their multiplication problems. And that is also breaking it using expanded notation and understanding those powers of 10s and how to multiply. And lastly, the fourth is the expectation in green that the students will be able to use multiplication strategies and apply this knowledge to real word problems. And then that gets us to the instructional goal at the top. And the instructional strategies used is the students will be seated in groups of 4 using a variety of skill sets seated together. They will be a part of learning skills as a total group, then flex into the appropriate groups to get the instruction that they will need that best fits their learning. Now, I will have some students that won't have to flex into teacher groups, but they will work independently on skills, and they will require little to no support from me. When students are working in small groups, they will be grouped based on their abilities assessed through pre-tests, exit tickets, and quick checks. Other times they will be grouped based on the instructional strategy being used for instruction. One of the instructional strategies I like to use is something called Around the World, and that's when the students are in groups of 3. One student holds the card where the other 2 students compete to answer the card. And on that card for math, there might be math vocabulary, and there might be a fluency where they're multiplying different numbers. And they compete to solve and get it first. Another strategy we use are anchor charts and graphic organizers, and we use acronyms such as CUBES. CUBE stands for circle the number, U is underline the question, B is box any words that are keywords, E is eliminate and evaluate how you're going to solve this problem, and S is actually solving the problem and showing your work. There are assessments, formative and summative assessments, and I use a variety of tools to assess the students. I would use exit tickets, quick checks, fluency assessments, and quick quizzes for understanding of the basic facts. I would use a time fluency assessment to check for the automaticity of their facts 0 through 12. This would be a time test with 100 problems and they have 6 minutes to solve. They're always striving to get 80% or above. For place value and expanded notation, I would use exit tickets having the students show their understanding of place value for a specific digit, such as 239. They would know that the 3 is in the tens place and its value would be 30. Or to show expanded notation of that number, it would be 200 plus 30 plus 9. I would administer quick quizzes to see if the students could apply the strategies of expanded notation to multiply 2-digit by 1 digit, 2-digit by 2 digit, or 3-digit by 1 digit. I would also use exit tickets and quick quizzes to see if the students could use the powers of 10 to show understanding of multi-digit multiplication. I would use quick quizzes to assess application of multiplication in real-world math word problems using strategies taught in class. Here is an example of an exit ticket that we come up as a team to use with our classes, and this is the summative for multiplication. It is done by the district, but of course any summative or quick quizzes that the district comes up with, we sometimes have to tweak depending on our students. The evaluation is, I will know my instructional design plan is a success if the students are mastering the objectives, if they have a positive attitude towards the work and discussion or math talks, and if they are successful on the assessments. Observations of the students working in pairs or small group and whole group discussions will allow me to know if my plan is engaging and successful. Hearing the students converse and properly using the vocabulary taught will let me know if they are understanding the terms. Also, if the students are able to use these strategies taught to solve the multiplication problems, I will know this plan is good for my students. But upon reflection, I know education is constantly an evolving process. As new innovations and findings occur, education materials are needed to be revised and adapted to accommodate this process. However, it is not simple, and this is where the instructional design becomes very important. Instructional design plans are extremely important because it organizes the process of learning. It looks for gaps in knowledge, and it comes up with ways to fill them with instructional strategies, web-based sites and games, tutorials, and group learning. I have learned to incorporate these types of learning into my plan. I have learned many instructional strategies from my peers and plan on incorporating them into my lessons. Overall, I feel I learned how to successfully create an instructional design plan. Also, upon reflection, I will definitely talk to my students to see how they're doing. I will talk to my peers. I will talk to the grade level above to see if these plans stick with them in 5th grade. I will also talk with my colleagues to see how this plan is working in my reflection. Thank you so much for listening to my instructional design plan.